Alright YouTube, what's going on? It is your boy Andrew. We're back at it today with another video. Today's video, we got a special one here today. We're going to be talking about a pair of boots. Right now, where I live, it's currently like 80 degrees, so it's not really boot weather yet. But my guy Keezy dropped this pair of Haven Court boots. I had the support. Got them right here. We're going to talk about these. I'm going to give you guys sizing information, all the details. And luckily for you guys, these are still available. So if you see this video and are curious and want to purchase these boots, I will link them down below. I did post that I got these and people were asking about them, so I figured why not make a video. Hopefully someone out there finds this helpful. Before we get into the video, as always, please feel free to hit that like and subscribe, and feel free to follow me on Instagram to see how I style all my sneakers and outfits. And with that out of the way, let's get into the video. Gotta start off with the packaging. I will say right off the rip, the packaging is very inspired by the Balenciaga strike boot. I did have a pair of Balenciaga strike boots. However, I did sell them when I saw these were coming out, and I also sold my John Timberlands when I saw these were coming out. Once again, I've been messing with Keezy for a while. I started watching his videos in 2019. When I saw that he was dropping a boot, I was super excited. I knew I wanted to support. He's also the main reason I bought the Balenciaga strike boots in the first place. If it wasn't for him, I definitely wouldn't have bought the Balenciaga strike boots. But like I said, the packaging is super Balenciaga inspired. You got the Haven Court Workshop logo on the box. Our size little reads men's boots, color black. I got a size 10.5. There you go. The boots did come individually wrapped in their own bag, by the way. Haven Court branded bag. The boots came with all this paper, and they came with inserts as well. If you guys have the Balenciaga strike boots, you know they came with a ton of paper. So this packaging was very similar to what you would get with a Balenciaga strike boot. So I feel like the packaging overall definitely on point. Super satisfied with the packaging. But with that out of the way, let's get into the boots. And here they are, the Haven Court Genesis boot in this beautiful black leather colorway. Now right off the top, this boot reminds me of two boots. It's definitely inspired by the Balenciaga strike boot. However, I'm definitely getting Timberland 6-inch work boot vibes as well. Once again, this is a workwear style boot, so definitely think Timberland. Well, honestly, if Timberland and Balenciaga strike boot had a baby, this is probably what it would look like. You got this beautiful black leather on the upper, and you also have some black canvas right here. One of my favorite features is the zipper. If you guys have the strike boots, you know they have the zipper. We actually have a Haven Court branded zipper. Love that touch. But yeah, the zipper definitely makes it a lot easier to get your foot in the boots. Without the zipper, these probably would be kind of a hassle to get into, you're not gonna lie. But yeah, definitely good job by Keezy adding that zipper. Definitely super helpful feature. The feature I love is the tongue. The tongue is this nice soft leather. You got that Haven Court Workshop logo right on the tongue. Once again, I can't emphasize enough how soft this tongue feels. It feels really good on foot as well. Behind the tongue, you got our size label right here, size 10.5. I am not 100% sure what these numbers mean in front of the size. So in case you guys are curious, you'll have to ask Keezy. I'm not 100% sure. But once again, this size tag behind the tongue is definitely inspired by the Balenciaga strike boots. If you have the strike boots, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not going to take the insole out, but you do have Haven Court Workshop on the insole as well. Quality is super on point. Looking at the stitching and everything, feels really good. This leather feels really nice. Once again, if you watch Keezy's video on these boots, he went to like the factory and did all the quality control. So I think that was like one of my deciding factors as well. Just knowing him, knowing his attention to detail, I knew these boots were going to be super on point. That outsole is definitely inspired by the strike boots as well. Love the outsole. In terms of the sole, it's definitely not as thick as the strike boots. The strike boots have a really, really thick sole, honestly. It's pretty nuts. So yeah, these aren't as thick as the Balenciagas. Keezy actually put a picture up on his Instagram comparing the two boots. But compared to the Timberland work boots right here, it's definitely a lot thicker, a little bit more aggressive looking, but definitely not as aggressive and big as the Balenciaga boots. So yeah, once again, here's the Timberland 6-inch work boot. Here is the Haven Court Genesis boot. Yeah, the big question is sizing. Now for sizing, I actually reached out to Keezy. I told him I wear a 10.5 in pretty much everything, and he said to go with a 10.5, and I am so happy I did, because I could honestly tell you guys, these boots fit perfect at true to size for me. I have a standard normal width foot. For all my Jordans, all my Nikes, I wear a size 10.5. That is what I got in these boots once again, and they fit me absolutely perfect. I know on the website, he said they fit like Timberland boots. However, I don't believe that is true. because in those Timberland boots, I wear a 9.5, and in these, I wear a 10.5, and these fit me way better. Honestly, even in those Timberlands going down a full size, I still have a little bit of room, but in these, they fit absolutely perfect. If you have a wider foot, I would definitely recommend going a half size up. Once again, just to cover sizing, I find they fit absolutely true to size. So whatever you typically wear in your sneaker size, go with that size. You should be A-okay. And lastly, someone did ask me, are these boots worth the $400 retail? Honestly, I haven't worn these much, but I will say off the bat, I do think they're worth $400 based on the fact that these are pretty much the closest thing you're gonna get to the Balenciaga Strike Boot without buying the Balenciaga Strike Boot. And the Balenciaga Strike Boots retail at $1,200. I know $400 is a lot for a pair of boots. It's a lot for anything, to be quite honest with you. But what you're getting is that you're supporting a small business. I think we all kind of lose track of how expensive it is to produce things like this. And we kind of take for granted when we buy from bigger corporations that have so much backing that they can afford to mass produce things and they can charge lower than like a smaller brand just because, once again, they have that backing. So I think when we look at like prices, especially coming from smaller brands, we kind of like lose track of how expensive it is to produce a pair of boots like this. I don't know all the financial details that went into making this boot, but I'm sure it wasn't cheap. Obviously, like the leather feels really nice. And the fact that Keezy flew out to China, made a vlog showcasing how these boots were made, quality controlling them, I think that's worth $100 alone. I mean, you could buy a Timberland work boot for $200, but Timberland isn't gonna make a video going to the factory and quality controlling your boots for you before you buy them. That's just not gonna happen. So you get that with a smaller brand, and I think that worth alone is worth $100. The $400 retail price is fair. I know that's a lot of money for a lot of people, but I think when it comes to a good pair of boots, $400 is definitely worth it. This is a black boot. This can go with pretty much everything. Seems like these are gonna hold up well. Once again, I haven't really worn these at all. I put them on for the on-foot portion of this video, so I apologize. Maybe after the winter, we can do an updated review because I do plan to wear these a ton during the winter because I did sell my black John Timberlands. So these are gonna be my new black pair of boots, my new beater boots for the fall winter. And you guys know I live in the Chicagoland area. We get some nasty ass winters. So we're gonna see how these hold up. So definitely, I promise you guys, I will do an updated review. But yeah, that's pretty much gonna do it on the Haven Court Genesis boot. If you guys have any questions on these boots, please comment on this video. I'll do my best to answer all your questions. And if you guys are curious about these boots, I have linked them in the description of this video. Once again, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.